And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see. But it's hard, and it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
Welcome back to Pop Flash, your go-to source for all the behind-the-scenes chaos Hollywood tries to hide. And today's story, it's nothing short of explosive. Buckle up, because according to rumors, Disney is demanding a jaw-dropping $400 million back from Rachel Zegler. And that's just the beginning. This drama isn't just stirring the pot, it's boiling over. The Snow White remake has become a full-blown spectacle, and fans are watching in total disbelief. Behind the glitter and glam of Disney's usual polish, things are reportedly falling apart fast, and the chaos is getting harder to hide.
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her.
According to rumors, the production has spiraled into a behind-the-scenes disaster. Insiders are now leaking shocking claims of emotional meltdowns, raging creative fights, and boardroom-level panic. It's no longer just a troubled shoot, it's an unfolding nightmare. People close to the situation say the tension didn't build slowly, it exploded. What started as a hopeful reboot of a beloved classic has now turned into a swirling storm of drama that just won't settle. And at the center of it all, Rachel Zegler, and one seriously jaw-dropping number. Let's talk about that $400 million shocker. That's not a typo. Rumors say Disney is internally demanding that kind of money back from Zegler. Yes, $400 million. That figure alone has set the internet on fire.
I don't really care about that. What I care about is how she hated the story because it needed to be wokeified, and she hated the fact that there was going to be a Prince Charming of some sort, and they needed to update it.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
According to behind-the-scenes whispers, Disney executives are absolutely livid, but keeping their anger out of the public eye. Sources claim that the studio feels Zegler's string of controversial interviews, along with her increasingly polarizing public image, may have tarnished the Snow White brand far beyond what they expected.
And Snow White is Snow Brown. Now, I don't have a problem with the fact that she's brown. I'm just saying everything about this has to be changed when it doesn't really need to be changed.
Now, here's where it gets even messier. Those rumored damages aren't just about this one movie. According to insiders, Disney had plans for major merchandise deals, global brand partnerships, theme park expansions, and potential spin-offs, all tied to the success of this remake. And now, it might all be going down the drain. Insiders claim the studio's top brass believes Zegler's actions may have cost them future billions, not just at the box office, but across every part of Disney's massive empire. That's why the alleged demand for her to return earnings isn't about salary, it's about lost legacy.
I think it's fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
You can talk, you can say you work a job, whatever. You cannot talk about trade secrets and certainly not compromise our investigative journalists in the field. What, so no free speech?
One source reportedly said Disney had bet big on Rachel becoming the new face of the Disney Princess brand, someone who could carry multiple franchises and headline campaigns for years. But now, according to rumors, they're reevaluating everything. Executives are said to be holding private meetings daily, trying to figure out how to salvage the project, and if there's any way to recover from what's now being called one of Disney's most embarrassing setbacks in years. And while no official lawsuit has been announced, legal teams are allegedly combing through every contract clause, trying to figure out if they can actually claw back some of that $400 million in losses. That's right. This isn't just damage control anymore. It's full-scale corporate panic. Fans online are divided. Some think Zegler is being unfairly blamed, while others believe her bold takes and dismissive tone during press appearances may have backfired in a huge way. But either way, the number alone, $400 million, has turned this into one of the biggest scandals Disney's faced in years.
Disney's new live-action remake of Snow White debuted this weekend, and it's an even bigger dud than anticipated.
The reason why Rachel Zegler sticks around is she's got a beautiful voice and she has some talent. So I think that certainly helps her because she's a PR nightmare. I don't know how anyone would hire her.
I cannot buy that Gal Gadot is angry that she's not as beautiful as Rachel Zegler. I cannot buy.
One entertainment insider even told reporters they thought this would be their next billion-dollar princess. Now they're wondering if they'll even break even. The deeper you look, the messier it gets, and the fallout is only just beginning. Now let's get one thing straight. There's no official lawsuit on record, at least not yet. But according to insiders tied to the production, Disney's legal team allegedly held intense discussions behind closed doors. The topic? Whether Rachel Zegler's behavior and public statements caused financial damage so massive, it could total in the hundreds of millions. That 400 million number may sound over the top, but according to rumors, the studio doesn't think it's exaggerated. This isn't just about one box office hit or flop. It's reportedly about the entire Disney princess brand, a legacy that took decades to build. Sources claimed Zegler's public comments didn't just spark controversy, they may have disrupted a multi-billion-dollar marketing machine that stretches across films, merchandise, parks, and more. And Disney? They're allegedly calculating every penny that could be slipping through their fingers. But the real tension didn't begin with interviews. It reportedly started the moment cameras began rolling. From day one, the set was anything but magical. Insiders alleged that clashes between Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot created constant waves of conflict that just wouldn't die down. Those creative disagreements, they weren't minor. They were explosive. According to multiple sources, the team was forced to reshoot major scenes multiple times, not because of technical issues, but because the stars couldn't agree on how the film should feel. While Disney maintained a clean, unified front in public, rumors say it was a totally different story behind the curtain. Behind those castle walls, there was nothing but tension and trouble, and it only got worse. Zegler, allegedly, was determined to flip the classic tale on its head. She pushed hard for a version of Snow White that focused on female empowerment, self-leadership, and modern values. Her goal? A fairy tale that broke away from the idea of true love, saving the day. On the other side, Gal Gadot, portraying the evil queen, reportedly had her own powerful vision. She wanted to lean into the dark, twisted roots of the original story, a villain with grit, danger, and old-school menace. But that style? It clashed dramatically with Zegler's more forward-thinking, optimistic take. According to rumors, the two stars couldn't meet in the middle. Their visions were so different that scenes had to be rewritten, scrapped, or delayed. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. Directors and producers were allegedly caught in the middle, trying to juggle two dominant personalities with totally opposite creative goals. The result? A shoot that insiders now describe as draining, divisive, and in some cases, downright miserable. That's not the Magic Kingdom Disney promised fans. Even crew members allegedly felt the ripple effects of these battles. Some insiders say morale on set dipped fast and stayed low. The dreamy fantasy world they were trying to create on screen felt nothing like the real atmosphere behind the cameras, and with every disagreement, the production timeline grew longer and more expensive. According to whispers in the industry, millions were added to the budget just to handle the fallout from these creative standoffs. This wasn't just a clash of styles, it became a philosophical war over what Snow White should represent in 2025. And according to rumors, the battle lines were drawn deep, and neither star was willing to back down. The deeper you dig into this production, the more it feels like a fairy tale gone wrong. Not on screen, but in real life. What was meant to be a reimagined masterpiece has become a cautionary tale of ego, vision, and the very high price of disagreement. And fans, they're now left wondering what kind of movie this chaos could possibly produce and whether it can ever live up to the Disney legacy it's meant to honor. But the chaos didn't stop with the reshoots or the on-set drama. It exploded once Rachel Zegler stepped into the press spotlight. Her interviews, meant to build hype for the film, ended up lighting a firestorm of backlash that just wouldn't die down. One particular clip made waves across social media, and not in a good way. In it, Zegler appeared to mock the original 1937 Snow White, calling it creepy and outdated. Yes, creepy. For fans who grew up with the beloved animated classic, those words hit like a slap. Online reactions were immediate and brutal. Generations of loyal Disney fans were outraged, saying her comments disrespected the film that helped launch the entire Disney empire. According to rumors, even Disney's own executives were stunned. Sources say the studio had been banking on nostalgia to drive ticket sales and merchandise, but instead, they were now dealing with the fallout of their lead actress openly criticizing the very foundation of the story. Behind the scenes, total panic. Rumors say emergency damage control meetings were held in secret. Publicists scrambled to contain the growing outrage while trying to soften Zegler's image in real time. One insider revealed just how serious it got, saying, "She was supposed to be the future of Disney, but now they're not so sure." That line alone sent shockwaves through industry circles. Executives had envisioned Zegler leading not just Snow White, but possibly an entire wave of modern Disney princesses. Films, merchandise, crossovers, the works. But now, that entire vision was reportedly falling apart, piece by piece. And then came the breaking point, what rumors describe as a full-blown emotional meltdown on set. According to sources close to the production, Rachel suffered a breakdown during filming of one of the film's biggest castle scenes. After dozens of takes, constant script rewrites, and conflicting direction, she reportedly couldn't hold it together any longer. The pressure, the backlash, the non-stop chaos. It all came crashing down at once. Zegler allegedly burst into tears mid-scene, overwhelmed and exhausted by the weight of it all. Insiders say the atmosphere on set was anything but magical. Crew members described the vibe as toxic, with everyone walking on eggshells, unsure what would set things off next. Morale, according to those present, hit an all-time low. What was once hyped as a career-defining film for everyone involved had become a stress-filled nightmare that no one wanted to talk about publicly. What was meant to be a fairy tale comeback for Disney quickly turned into a behind-the-scenes meltdown, one that fans never expected and executives are now struggling to fix. According to rumors, things spiraled so far out of control that Disney quietly canceled the film's highly anticipated UK premiere. The official excuse? Scheduling conflicts. But behind the scenes, the real reason painted a much messier picture. And it had nothing to do with calendars. Insiders claim that the tension between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot had boiled over. What started as subtle clashes turned into full-on conflict, and executives feared that parading them down the red carpet together would be a PR disaster waiting to happen. There were whispers that the two actresses couldn't even stand near each other, without passive-aggressive energy filling the room. According to rumors, Disney's top brass made a last-minute decision to pull the plug rather than risk a media circus on UK soil. And while fans speculated about the premiere's sudden disappearance, the drama behind closed doors only got worse. The heart of the conflict, the script, and two very different visions for the story. Gal Gadot, already known for her intense and commanding screen presence, reportedly pushed hard to make her evil queen character darker, more twisted, and unapologetically villainous. She wanted to dive deep into the wicked side, embracing the classic fairy tale evil with a modern, edgy twist. But Rachel Zegler? She had a completely different idea. Zegler allegedly insisted on making Snow White a bold feminist icon, someone who didn't need love or a prince, but led with power, independence, and defiance. Her version of Snow White was meant to inspire, not swoon. And when you put those two powerful personalities together, one pushing for dark and dangerous, the other pushing for woke and warrior-like, boom! Sparks flew. Rumors say that entire scenes had to be rewritten on the same day they were filmed. Directors were caught in the middle, scrambling to balance both sides while trying to hold the production together. Writers reportedly burned through multiple drafts, desperately rewriting dialogue just hours before cameras rolled. One insider claimed, "It was like filming two different movies at once. No one could agree on the tone." The result? Absolute chaos on set. Again, the back-and-forth battles over tone, message, and character portrayal dragged the production into overtime and beyond. It's no wonder that the movie's original release date, which had been set for 2024, suddenly disappeared from Disney's promotional calendar. Instead, the film was quietly bumped to late 2025. Officially, Disney cited production scheduling as the reason, but fans weren't buying it. And according to insiders, that wasn't the full story at all. Behind closed doors, rumors suggest the decision was a calculated move. The goal? Let the controversies cool down and buy time to fix the film's many issues without drawing more attention. Executives reportedly believe the media storm surrounding Zegler's interviews, on-set clashes, and spiraling fan backlash could tank the movie before it ever hit theaters. so delaying the release became their best shot at salvaging the project. The delay wasn't just about finishing visual effects or tightening edits, it was about survival. With social media turning hostile and even lifelong Disney fans turning skeptical, insiders say the studio wanted to distance the film from the controversy, giving themselves space to regroup and rebuild its image before launch. From the outside, it looked like just another delay, but from within the studio walls, it was a sign of how serious the damage had become. Behind the curtain at Disney, it's not magic anymore. It's mayhem. Executives are reportedly spiraling into full-blown panic mode, and it's not hard to see why. What was supposed to be a bold, empowering reboot has backfired in the worst way possible. According to rumors, what began as a celebration of modern storytelling is now a lightning rod for internet outrage. Fans aren't just unhappy, they're furious. Social media has exploded with endless debates, fiery threads, and viral memes calling out Rachel Zegler's controversial interviews. Some users are even calling her the face of Disney's biggest failure. That phrase alone has gained serious traction online, and it's shaking the very foundation of Disney's carefully curated brand. Executives, once confident that this Snow White remake would usher in a new golden era, are now scrambling to avoid a financial catastrophe. Behind closed doors, meetings have reportedly become tense, emotional, and downright frantic. According to rumors, things have gotten so unstable that Disney might be pulling the plug on everything related to Rachel Zegler's future with the company. There were once ambitious plans for sequels, spin-offs, and even possible crossovers within the Disney Princess cinematic universe. Zegler was being positioned as a cornerstone for the next generation of fairy tale films. But now, sources say those ideas have been shoved into a drawer, locked up and shelved indefinitely. Insiders whisper that even Disney's most optimistic executives can't ignore the backlash anymore. According to rumors, the brand damage has been so severe that they've started scrubbing her name from upcoming pitches and concept presentations. And let's talk about that $400 million figure again, because it's not just about the movie's box office. Industry sources claim that number includes projected earnings from theme park attractions, exclusive streaming spin-offs, merchandise empires, and even global licensing deals, all of which are now teetering on the edge of collapse. The Snow White reboot wasn't just a film, it was supposed to be a franchise launcher. An entire marketing universe was being built around it, including collectible dolls, special events, character meet and greets, and brand collaborations. Now, that glittering dream is slowly crumbling into dust. Some insiders say the financial loss isn't just monetary, it's reputational. Disney, known for crafting iconic stories, is suddenly caught in a storm of bad press, fan revolts, and endless ridicule. And here comes the shocking twist. Not everyone is pointing fingers at Rachel Zegler. In fact, according to rumors, some of the backlash is being redirected at Disney itself. Insiders are starting to question the studio's creative process, and the answers are not pretty. Sources claim that from the very beginning, Disney's top execs forced massive rewrites that stripped the film of any clear direction. Instead of letting creators breathe, they allegedly micromanaged everything, from character arcs to costume choices. The studio reportedly pushed for a highly politicized woke message, whether it made narrative sense or not. According to insiders, that heavy-handed agenda ended up putting unbearable pressure on the cast and crew. Actors were allegedly trapped in a marketing campaign they didn't fully support, forced to sell a version of Snow White that no one behind the scenes had fully agreed on. It was chaos with glitter on top. And when the press tour kicked off, the cracks became impossible to hide. As one anonymous crew member bluntly put it, no one had a clear vision. It was a battle of egos. That quote has been circulating like wildfire, and fans can't stop reposting it. So now, what was meant to be a landmark moment in Disney's evolution is being dissected online as a case study in how not to handle a beloved franchise reboot. So who's really at fault? Is Rachel Zegler the scapegoat for Disney's own internal chaos? Or did her comments truly derail a billion-dollar franchise? Stick around, because we've only scratched the surface of this unfolding drama.